Cold Open. What Were They Thinking Studios 2 weeks ago. So, Brendan, I've got this fantastic movie that we're going to watch, and you'll never guess what it is.
Actually, I already guessed what it was because I knew you were going to say that, and I tapped your phone last week.
You you tapped my phone?
Yes, I did.
But you... Regardless, okay. So you know what movie it is then? We're doing Law Abiding Citizen. Now, I've got a really crazy thing to tell you that happened while I was watching the movie.
Yes, you were drinking a glass of wine and it spilled on you, and then you had to clean it up. But then you fell and you yelled out, and no one was around. And then you made a funny joke about your cat.
That's eerily accurate. But do you have cameras in my house?
Well, see, as soon as you told me about the fact that you were going to pick a film, I figured that would happen. So I installed cameras in your house, in your home, and yeah, I set them up to record at the right moment.
Oh, okay, but it seems like an awful lot of work for very little payoff. I mean, we could have just talked about the movie. Anyhow, yeah, okay, so I fell and I tripped over my cat, and no one was there, and I still made a joke about the cat because, I'm sad and alone, I have to make myself laugh. But you'll never believe what happened next. Wait, you will, because you put cameras in my house. No, you won't believe what happened next, because after the movie was over, I got in my car, and then when I got in my car...
Oh, yes, that was when your radio turned on, and it was on a weird station, and you had a good laugh about it. You got a little bit of a fender bender, but then you got out of it okay. You wrote a quick check, and everything was hunky-dory.
Brendan, I think you've broken several federal laws, and I really need to know how you know this stuff, because you work at a movie theater.
Well, see, I didn't break any laws, because what I did is I became a judge during the last few weeks, and I actually wrote some new laws, because judges can do that, and so I gave the laws to myself, and then quote-unquote, broke them, but I didn't really break any laws, actually.
And scene. And that was essentially the pitch for Law Abiding Citizen, I'm guessing, because this movie... The only
Gerard... Gerard Butler is ready for anything.
The only other pitch that I could possibly think of for this movie is if, the guys who wrote it were like, they saw the movie The Punisher and one of the Saw movies, like, back to back on a double bill or something. And they were like, you know what? You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Well, you got peanut butter in my chocolate. Let's make a movie about the Punisher who lives by the Saw rules.
Man, doesn't that suck when you get peanut butter in your chocolate?
No, it's quite delicious.
Well, I mean, when it's manufactured, but... when you spill that peanut butter in your chocolate, it's...
Well, yeah, because I'm constantly wielding raw chocolate near my peanut butter.
Whenever I'm eating a delicious O. Henry bar, I always have a jar of Skippies nearby.
Just so you can dip it like a chip dip type thing.
Oh, God. Has anyone tried that out there? Please let us know.
Probably.
Tell me how it is.
Do it with a Twix.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a chocolate bar related challenge for you. I don't want to get too far off topic, but try to eat an O. Henry bar while you're on the toilet.
I will not one-up you, but I will come up with something similar-ish. I have eaten an O. Henry bar while watching one of those twisted movies where people tell you never watch this movie, where they're eating shit. So, I had a hard time, but I got through it. I didn't know that scene was coming up, so I was just enjoying a delicious chocolate bar, and then people were just eating feces.
Well, let's start the cold open then.
Thankfully, this movie does not have feces.
Thank God. Lots of blood, though. Whew.
Oh my lord! Lots of blood.
I was the clue I gave, Saw Abiding Punisher, is man, absolutely. I gotta come clean. I actually kind of kiped that line just a little bit. When that movie came out, there's a fellow by the name of Scott Foy he writes for Dread Central or something. He had his own website. I used to frequent it, and that was one of the ways he described this movie.
Very apt. I will say though that in comparison, Jigsaw is like Ben Stiller's fake character in Tropic Thunder compared to this guy.
True.
Because this guy is like he's for a while in this movie. Not to jump ahead too far, but I thought the twist was that Gerard Butler played God.
Yeah, and now in this viewing, I think this was probably my third or fourth viewing. I've seen this movie a few times, but I legitimately enjoyed the first time I really watched it because I was like, I'm almost expecting like an Abominable Dr. Phibes type situation where he's got an apprentice, someone who's helping, but you don't know until the M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we won't get into that right now. We'll get into it at the end. Let's
no, because the twist is far better.
Yeah. And so we open on a nice, sweet craft time with daddy and daughter, and he's working in his electronics workbench, and she's building bracelets for mommy and daddy, and it's a sweet moment shared between a loving family, and then the rape and murder happened.
And an implied child
rape at the very least, if not death.
Yeah. And also, like, this guy likes to stab people in the side for some reason.
Yeah.
like that's his go-to.
You know the guy is one of the firefighters on Chicago Fire.
Wow, what a role change.
Yeah, it was. I hadn't seen this movie since I started watching Chicago Fire, and when I watched it, I was like, oh, it's gonna be hard to watch from now on.
I shuddered when he goes after the child and he says, "Don't worry, kids like me."
Ugh.
I was like, well, where do you base that on?
Yeah, this movie punches you in the stomach right at the start, and
yeah, it doesn't get started fast enough. Definitely,
no.
Right?
Yeah.
So Gerard Butler's wife and kid get brutally killed, like less than 3 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, oh, less than 3 minutes. I mean literally, we're not at minute 3 and they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then we. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say 10 years later. That's not yet.
That's not yet. We still have to deal with the lawyer scumbags at current.
Yes. Yeah. This whoever wrote this movie does not like lawyers
or any municipal government person.
Yeah, no, at all. And now, when we are introduced to Gerard Butler's character, first thing I noticed is he is doing an American accent.
Yep.
It is horrible. The best part is that, you know how he has that, like, honestly, like, the way he talks.
The thing with his accent is he's trying to go for a New Englandy, East Coast America type accent. It's not even close to it. It's almost like there's no accent. Like he's not dropping R's, which you'd get from like a Boston or a New York or something like that. It legitimately feels like he studied the accent but can't quite nail it down.
It looks like someone else is doing the voiceover for him too. Because when he's talking, he looks like he's still talking in the Scottish brogue. So.
Well, that's a possibility too. I mean, there could be a really bad situation where a lot of ADR had to be done for this movie.
Where's Gerard's ADR man? Get him in here. Gerard, it's you. Okay.
This is going to be terrible.
But yeah, so we meet Jamie Foxx's character pretty quickly here because he is going to be... He survives, and basically he informs him that a deal's been made without his consent. Like he him after
Yeah, and the
the
thing
deal.
is, with what happened with Gerard Butler, his character, I don't remember his name at this point.
Clyde, something
Clyde.
Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde. Yeah,
Clyde
because
Shelton.
when they said that, I immediately thought right hand Clyde from Any Which Way But Loose. Uh, so I compared Gerard Butler to an orangutan with a truck driver.
Yeah. That would be
Um,
amazing.
that would be. So with what happened to Clyde, the deal itself doesn't make sense because he would be able to speak up and say, no, he was the aggressor. He was the one who actually stabbed and raped my wife, and the other guy just stood there terrified.
Yeah, because Jamie Foxx argues that Gerard Butler blacked out, which we do see, but that's after he witnesses many things.
Yes, and the
And but the legality of it, like you can't just make a deal and not have your client's agreement, can you?
well, Gerard Butler's not his client.
Oh, right, he's like a prosecutor.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess in all fairness, Jamie Foxx's clients in this would be the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yes, that's true. I just assumed. Okay, there are many times during the movie where I thought Jamie Foxx was his lawyer at times, and I was like, "Why is his lawyer acting like a police officer? Why didn't they just make him a cop?"
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Gerard Butler, yeah, that it makes no sense because really it should be like open and shut. You saw everything happen. You're a witness. No jury in the world is gonna let this guy go.
No, he's too scummy to begin with, right?
And Jamie
But
Foxx is already kind of scummy at the beginning because he has like a 96% conviction rate without going to trial.
well, no, 96% conviction rate, and he's constantly kicking ones that he's even kind of maybe leery about down to lower courts.
Yeah, yeah, like he's made a shit ton of deals.
Yeah.
And Gerard Butler is not happy about this turn of events,
No.
to say the least.
And I gotta ask, how cold was it there?
Thank you, because there are so many scenes, not just that one, but later prison scenes where you can see their breath.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they shoot part of the? They must have shot the close-ups outside.
There's one where Jamie Foxx is in the stairwell with his boss
Yeah,
or his mentor or whatever, and they're inside and you can see their breath.
which for a while I had a note here. His the D, I believe it's the DA, and his name is Jonas. Which, by the way, their names together are Nick Jonas. Um, but I did have a note here because there was a long time before I saw the DA interact with anyone other than Jamie Foxx, and I was like, "Is that his imaginary friend?"
You're thinking
Is
like
that
a Colin Hanks from like the sixth or fifth season of Dexter.
or like a drop dead Fred scenario?
Worst imaginary friend ever.
Yeah, friend is a loose term, but I guess his purpose in this movie, that actor, who's it? Bruce McGill, he's in a bunch of stuff, but his purpose in this movie is basically just to motivate Jamie Foxx's character, I guess.
What's his name? Bruce McGill?
I think so. I think that's his name.
Okay. I always
and
Jack from the old MacGyver.
like I said, Nick Jonas. Um, the thing. Okay, before we get even further, did you know originally? I was going to mention this before we started. I should have, but did you know originally?
Sorry, I gotta read my note here. Here's the quote I put down. How cold is it in that hallway? Plea deal cold.
No.
Wow! Dun, dun, dun. I put sunglasses on.
Bum, ba-da-bum. That's my music for you.
Oh, I like mine better.
Yeah, yours makes more sense. I just
CSI
like making,
Miami.
yeah,
Noises. I got
I'm just trying, just,
keep trying.
Yeah, thanks, thank you. Um, but yeah, I was gonna mention this before we started, but did you know that originally Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx's roles were reversed?
That would have been really interesting.
Jamie Foxx playing the villain, I think, would have been kind of cool. But at the same time, Gerard Butler playing the good guy, it would have been. I think it would have been kind of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like Jamie Foxx as like a psychopath. Oh, that's like psychopath later. But like a guy kind of getting revenge on the. I don't know. I think that would have been interesting.
Well, he did that when he played Electro, I guess.
Yeah.
He's got range. I feel bad sometimes for Jamie Foxx until I realize how wealthy he is. And that he kind of gets, so for a long time he got really kind of typecast as either like a comedic role or just a boisterous, black dude.
Yeah.
Any Given Sunday, Stealth, any of those other movies that he was in, he's just kind of this, boisterous and chest puffy type of guy. And he actually has range. I mean, you can see him in Ray, Collateral, even this.
Well, even if you want to, even you mentioned Electro, like he does his goddamn best in that movie. Spider-Man.
Everybody was doing their damnedest in that movie. It was kind of hamstrung by the unfortunate writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, he's meeting Nick or Jamie Foxx. We should use them interchangeable. Let's just say Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is walking around with his friend Jonas, who's telling him basically he's giving him shit. He's giving him a little bit of shit for making that deal, I think, because he's like, he probably could have gone to court. You probably could have gotten a conviction that way, and like you probably could have put both of them away, because basically the deal was that Darby, who was the guy who did everything, is ratting out Ames, the guy who basically did nothing.
Yeah.
And Ames is getting the fucking
lethal injection,
while Darby is getting away like scot-free.
And you know what bothered me about this? It wasn't the fact that he was making the deal. Like, obviously that needs to be the conflict in this movie. Like, the dirtiness part of his soul, like that's what makes Gerard Butler hate him. But he goes home to a pregnant wife who's having a daughter, and he's comfortable with making the deal with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that says something about his character that is very upsetting.
And it made me write the note, Gerard Butler is right in just about everything he does in this movie.
Pretty much, except for one big exception, but we will get to that. We will get to that later. But, okay, I have a timeline issue here. So,
is it
first
the 9
of all,
and the 10?
Yes!
Yeah, me too.
Yes! So it says, so, first of all, nobody ages in 10 years, apparently. And second of all, Jamie Foxx's daughter is not born yet. Mm-hmm. And then we flash, like, very quickly and weirdly, like, it's kind of awkward. It's just like 10 years later.
Yep.
And the girl is 9.
No, they say she's 10.
Oh, she's 10. Sorry.
And that's why I was like, she's 9.
They say she's 10.
Yep.
No. She's 9. Even if they had a line where it was like, I thought what was going to happen is Jamie Foxx was going to say like, oh, you're 10 now. And she'd be like, I'm just 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Showing that maybe he's not the most attentive father.
That would have been perfect.
No, this movie doesn't know simple math.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up that she's freaking supposedly 10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed that too, because I was like, am I going?
This is the worst thing to be nitpicky in this movie about.
Well, I'm just like,
physics alone and the logistics of the things that Gerard Butler does. And we're nitpicking about the fact that she's 9.
But that's such an easy thing to fix.
I know.
I'm watching it and I'm like, am I going crazy? Am I losing my mind? That's not the right math. So anyway, 10 years later, there's family strife, I guess, a little bit. Not, like, excessively, but basically he's never there. Mm-hmm. She has her recital. He's like, no, I gotta break the law. I gotta put the bad guys away. And they go through this weird, like, cult.
He's like, yeah, I can't go to your recital, which will be a precious memory. I'm sorry, I have to go watch someone be put to death.
That's right! I can't go to your recital. I have to go watch a lethal injection.
Oh, It's all about priorities when you're a parent, Brendan. Trust me.
I also forgot that. I also forgot about the scene we briefly skipped over when Jamie Foxx is sitting with Sarah Leslie Bibb, who's like his assistant or whatever.
We're spot on with the damn
When he
names
draws
today.
that like. No way. When he draws that nudie picture, and she just thinks it's so darn funny.
Yes.
And then she writes down "thank you" instead of saying it, like they weren't in a church. She could have just said "thank you." But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And Gerard Butler's wig is crazy. So
it wasn't full on Leonidas, but it was still nutty.
Oh, it was still very wiggy.
He was getting wiggy with it. Nah, 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 nah. Oh man, you could have made so many jokes if Will Smith had been in the Jamie Foxx role.
Oh, there's got to be a movie where Will Smith is wearing wearing a crazy wig. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I just wanted to mention too. We probably should mention this plot wise. Is before we go to 10 years later, Gerard Butler sees Jamie Foxx shaking hands with. Well, not offering to shake hands. Like Darby just kind of grabs his hand, but he sees them shaking hands, and that kind of sets him off even more.
Yep.
And then, Jamie's wife, Regina Hall, who is, it's weird for me to see her in a drama, because every time I see her, I just think scary movie. So yeah, let's go to the lethal injection, which is intercut with a recital.
That's a weird juxtaposition, and I get what they're going for there, but at one point, someone's like laughing and smiling right after they cut away from the guy getting ready to be put to death, and I didn't register right away, and I'm like, the guy was having a giggle at a death sentence.
I thought that too.
Yikes.
And what about the scum? You want to talk about scummy lawyers. What about the scummiest lawyer in the world hits on Leslie Bibb at the fucking lethal injection?
Yes, he was pretty fantastic.
He's like, hey, you're looking good. And she's like, fuck off. Oh, and then when everyone was clapping at the recital, I also thought it was at the execution.
Well, I actually have a note. Applause, quite the juxtaposition with what they were actually cutting away from.
So Ames basically pleads his innocence because quite frankly, this is one of the most innocent.
To be fair, he's innocent of that. Now, I know that there is laws in several of the states, if not all of the states in the United States of America, where that if a murder occurs or someone's killed during the process of another felony, you are also held liable or guilty for that murder, meaning you could get the death penalty if someone dies of a heart attack while you're robbing a bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's not 100% innocent, but
he's not blameless, but he was not the one who did the raping and the murdering.
No, God, no. I think he just wanted to tie them up, steal stuff, and leave.
Yes, he was a professional.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good guy, that Ames. So,
well, as far as home invaders go.
Yeah. So Ames gets brutally killed during this lethal injection because somebody messed with the canisters. Mm-hmm. Because somebody hacked into it.
Yes.
Hacked into the computer system.
I will say this, though.
Lethal injection.
Thank God that they didn't show that, because I can't stand it when in movies let's make computer stuff look exciting.
Cough. Criminal. Cough.
Oh, dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Exactly. Criminal is a case study in that.
Going on the computer, hacking other computers.
Super exciting.
This is better than an action scene.
Spoilers, no, it's not.
So, yeah, Ames is brutally killed. And then we see Darby's got some, half-naked girl on the floor, which, by the way...
He's living a scumbag life, isn't he?
Oh, and, that girl, I don't think she would ever hook up with that guy.
She was probably a prostitute.
Well, I guess so. I don't know, Nathan. I like to believe that doesn't exist anymore in this world.
It's okay, Brendan.
I like
that
to
head deeper into the sand.
We're all living in what is it? The Andy Griffith town?
Mayberry. Oh, Mayberry, yeah. Mayberry RFD.
But yeah, Darby is like, yeah, like stereotypical scumbag.
Smoking meth,
Yeah,
banging hookers, getting drunk in his shitty apartment.
and this is where the movie really starts to get nuts.
In a
Because,
super good way.
oh my god, because he gets a phone call from, who knows? It's obviously Gerard Butler.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
This is the Saw abiding Punisher moment.
Yeah, because yeah, even the Punisher thing, like even like the Thomas Jane Punisher, because he's not just straight up going after his enemies and killing them. He's like tricking them into like not turning on each other, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like confusing them first and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, in the Punisher, he tricked John Travolta into killing his best friend and his wife. And
yeah.
yeah.
So it's that situation. So okay, I gotta say, does Gerard Butler have cameras everywhere in the world? Because he calls him, he knows the cops will show up.
He did work for
He
the NSA. Spoilers.
It's true, but you never see him like, I don't know. This is pretty crazy. Like he knows the cops will show up. He knows that Darby will unload his gun and not have any bullets left. He knows like he knows way too fucking much.
But with this movie, when they get to the point where you find out how Gerard Butler worked for the government and the NSA and all the stuff that he did, as much as I enjoy this movie, I really think I would have liked to watch that movie more.
Oh, and do you know what scene this movie was definitely missing?
What's that?
Gerard Butler getting the pufferfish venom.
Mm.
Because Darby. Okay, first of all, Darby
The gun,
sees the cops.
yes.
The cops arrive, and he just unloads on them.
Yep.
He's done nothing. Like he did not kill Ames, so I don't know why he's firing at the cops.
Well, we don't know that he hasn't done anything.
I mean, we have a pretty good idea.
He does apparently have a fair amount of crystal meth, possibly a prostitute in his lavish apartment.
He does say, "Bitch, leave."
Yeah.
So I mean, she does leave.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
so he tries to he takes the gun from the cop, or the disguised cop.
Oh yeah, I had no idea that was gonna be Gerard Butler. What
I
a
know.
disguise!
Going to
How did
the
Darby
master of
not
disguise.
know? Like Gerard Butler invested in that blonde wig, and then I gotta ask because we see that he put the real cop like in the trunk, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta ask. I wonder if he got a wig that was the same as that cop.
Doubtful.
I would have loved to have a reveal where they open the trunk, get the cop out, and he looks exactly like Gerard Butler.
That would have pushed it right over the edge.
Oh yeah, because nothing else in this movie does.
No, but I mean,
Everything else is apt.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he like lures him into a cop car where he's waiting with a blonde wig and glasses, the best glasses ever. He lets him steal his gun, I guess.
Well, he has to.
Yeah, and I'm like, what if Darby had like other bullets on him or something? Or like his gun hadn't have run out of bullets. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he
took a lot of risks.
Well, again, Gerard Butler is omniscient in this movie.
He is Jesus. Oh, so yeah. So he takes him. He takes the Gerard Butler cop. Gerard Butler's
Service
gun.
Piece, yeah.
Yeah, but the twist is,
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's filled with pufferfish venom that he rigged this gun to have like spikes come out of it when you push the trigger or you pull the trigger, whatever, and it like fills him up with pufferfish venom that just paralyzes him from the neck down.
Well, paralyzes him all over. He just
Yeah,
can't do anything, but he'll be wide awake and feel everything.
Correct. which I love how they chose pufferfish
Well,
venom. Such an inspired choice. He does move his head a lot, though, for someone who can't move. I gotta say.
I only noticed him moving his eyes. Maybe I'll have to watch it again. Darn it.
Oh, dang. You'll have to watch it a second time or a fourth time.
You know the funny thing is, I have this movie on Blu-ray. I
Same.
bought it in a 2-pack with The Punisher. So I have Law Abiding Citizen and The Punisher as a 2-pack DVD Blu-ray combo.
So they knew right away.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, it's a similar
Peanut butter
film.
and jelly, man. That's these movies. Put them together.
So this basically becomes a torture porn for a little bit.
This says a lot about me, but I have a note here is I wish the whole movie was this.
Wow. Just this, Gerard Butler slowly torturing this guy.
The guy killed his wife and raped her and possibly did the same thing to his 8-year-old daughter. I wish the whole movie was this. I would love to watch his bloody vengeance.
I thought when he said kids like me, he was just finding that kid a foster home because the mother had been killed.
Did you ever see the movie Spit on Your Grave?
Yes.
I get behind those movies because I want to see those people straight up torture, murder the people who wronged them because they wronged them in such a fundamental way.
So you're saying you would have preferred if the movie was maybe, let's say, five people breaking into his home, and then the rest of the movie was just Gerard Butler slowly killing every single one of them?
That would have been delightful.
I Spit on Your Grave, starring Gerard Butler.
Oh, no, I Spit on Your Grave has to be a woman.
Oh, okay.
Last House on the Left.
It's Leslie Bibb.
That's the best analog I can make here. The Last House on the Left.
Yeah, even the remake.
Yep.
Okay, so he basically tortures the shit out of him. He gives him like adrenaline so he can stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically cuts off his limbs like one at a time.
And his penis.
Right?
With a box cutter.
Because that's the thing that did the raping.
Right.
You see, guys, we're also like a podcast that informs as well.
I just have a note here that says penis box cutter, and I want to start a punk band with that name now.
Penis box cutter.
Penis box cutter. Yep. Like
I can get behind that. Not physically though. Actually,
you'd buy our T-shirt.
Yeah, I'll buy your. I would walk around with a penis box cutter shirt like yesterday. So. This is crazy to me. They say they found Darby in 25 pieces.
Yeah.
I thought he just cut off his limbs.
Fingers one at a time, I'm guessing.
Okay. Seems like an awful lot. That death discovery is gory as hell.
Yep.
Like you see his head, you see his yeah. And then we meet what's his name? What's the actor's name? Colm Meaney.
Colm Meaney.
Yeah.
From Con Air and Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Who basically any serious situation he has a joke for it.
Actually, we met him earlier when Ames was killed because they started a homicide investigation.
Yeah,
I was like,
immediately.
It was a death penalty. You're gonna start a homicide. Sorry. He killed him harder than we could.
Yeah, it's it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I mean, that's kind of this movie overall, really.
It's fun to watch, though.
Yes. And there's no criminal hacking scenes.
Thank God.
Okay, so this. Can you tell me? Okay, they figure out that basically at this point they're looking into Gerard Butler because they figure Darby didn't do that lethal injection
because he's dumber than a
tampering.
sack of hammers.
Yeah, he didn't. We're gonna go out on a limb here, no pun intended, and say that Darby didn't have the smarts to hack into the U.S. Government
services where they order their poison for lethal injection.
Yeah. Can excuse me, this is a police officer. Could I have the really bad poison?
What? You know, the really, really bad poison does bad, icky stuff to you. Are you
Not
really a
the
cop? Of course
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
What's your name?
Jaywalking.
Officer, police cop.
Well, okay, checks out.
Wait, you're not officer, police cop. I've known officer, police cop for 20 years. He doesn't sound a thing like you.
He has a Scottish accent.
We're going into like a Family Guy territory here.
So, okay, so I almost said Clive Owen. Gerard Butler, basically is setting himself up to be arrested
Yes.
at this point, which we obviously learn later is for many reasons. But he's getting ready to be arrested. Why does he get naked?
I have a couple of theories on this. One, for the ladies.
Yeah.
The lady cops, to be specific. But, have you ever seen the movie Panther?
Panther?
Yes, Panther, the movie about the Black Panthers.
I can't say I have.
Okay. Well, in that movie, there's a scene where the cops or federal, I think this might have been the FBI. Anyways, they have one of the headquarters of the Black Panthers surrounded, and they're calling them out. So everybody starts taking off their clothes, and one of the guys is like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "If you're naked, they can't say you were reaching for a gun." And the other guy was like, "I'm not taking my clothes off." And everybody strips down naked, except for this one guy who I think he gets down to like his boxers and his undershirt because he doesn't want to get naked. And they all come out. They're all naked except for him. And the one guy who's not naked gets shot, and they plant a gun on him and say he was going for a gun.
Okay.
So I'm
it makes a little
guessing
bit more sense.
the reason why he got naked was so they can't say he was going for a gun.
And then when they bring him out, he has jeans on.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you must have watched the regular cut, because I have an extended cut. We got nothing but ass.
Wait, even when they bring him outside?
Like when they arrested him and took him out the front door?
Yeah.
He was naked as a jaybird.
Weird. So do you think in my copy they CG'd some jeans onto him?
It's a possibility.
That's
I know
crazy.
for a fact that they CG'd briefs or tidy whities onto Dax Shepard into the Chips trailer.
That's insane.
Or maybe it's Michael Pena. Anyways, somebody's getting carried in one of the in that trailer, and he's wearing underwear. But then I saw the Red Band trailer, and he was buck-ass naked.
That's insane. That's like, you know what? For this DVD release, I say we make this for the ladies, and then the other half we're like, you know what? I'm a little bit of a prude. I think in Salt Lake City we put jeans on them.
Well, you might have watched the theatrical cut.
I don't know. I have the Blu-ray as well,
but
so I'm not sure which version I watched.
With all the gore that we've had to up at this point, I can't see why you would bother CGing pants onto somebody.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We just saw a head and like limbs everywhere and blood everywhere. We better put jeans on them. We want to let the audience take a breath.
No Scotsman ass in this movie.
No, this is not Braveheart, guys. Okay, so we get the first meeting of this is the real shit coming up. This is like Pacino and De Niro in Heat right now. Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler having their first
each other on the table, head to head.
And again, it's very cold.
Yes, prison's a cold place, Brendan.
Yeah. So this is the action really starts to kick off here, and it's good because we're only like 10 minutes into this podcast. Just kidding. But basically, Gerard Butler wants a bed. Like he tells
bed.
He fake confesses first, like he does it in a way where he's not actually confessing.
Actually, I really like that because when I was watching it, I was like, I see what he's doing.
Yeah, he's saying, yes, I wanted to kill him. Yes, I had planned it in my head, but he never says I killed him.
Yes,
like not once.
Yep.
But he does say, you want me to give you information or to give you a full confession, then I want a better bed. And Jamie Foxx says, "Fuck no," which I'm like, just give him a bed. Like, even like Jonas is like,
Just
Jamie
give
Foxx,
the damn bed.
Jamie Foxx, what in the hell are you doing?
He's maintaining his presence or his command over the situation, I guess.
We get a very disturbing moment here with his kid.
You mean the worst Netflix delivery ever?
Okay, so Gerard Butler had to have known Jamie Foxx's address, which, okay, fine. Like, he had 10 years to figure it out. But
it's a matter of public record.
Yeah, I guess. He sent that in the mail, though, to be delivered on a certain day, I guess. And immediately the kid's like, oh, my recital tape.
Yeah.
It's not that.
At all.
Nope. It's the murder
porn.
of...
Yep, murder porn for the cellist.
And, the kid is scarred for life, I would assume.
She's from Philly. She'll bounce back.
Well, Jamie Foxx is like, it's just a horror film.
Yeah, tell her it was just fake. Yeah.
Well, I got it from... Netflix.
Regardless, okay, it's still gonna mess a kid up.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gerard. Okay, so then this is also Gerard Butler swearing in this movie is so awkward. I find.
Yes.
When he says
he
puts fuck in
it's really weird when he does swear, but it goes back to the accent, I think.
Yeah, definitely, because he calls someone a dumbass in this scene. He says dumbass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, I got a question too here.
How did this get made? Oh, sorry, that's not us.
hey, what? I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with that.
Not familiar with them at all.
No. They say quite a few times they have zero evidence against him, right? Mm-hmm. Zero physical evidence.
Right.
So would they even be able to hold him in jail?
My understanding is if you are arrested, you could be held up to 72 hours without being charged.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you just solved that mystery.
That's what TV's told me. But I mean, to be fair, TV also told me you could join the military instead of going to prison.
Oh, Michael Dudikoff.
But I do believe the 72 hours thing is a legit thing.
Okay. So, he gets his bed.
Yes.
Because, like, well, why the fuck wouldn't you just give him the bed? And this is where we get the first indication his cellmate is not too happy about this. Well, neither is anyone in the prison, because he's got this big, nice, fancy bed. And basically I think they go to court at this point.
Yes.
They go in front of the judge. Yeah.
He definitely he lays into her.
Oh my god, like a bitch in heat.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Because he pretty much like argues his case and she's about to set bail. But he calls her a bitch in heat and says this is why the legal system is so messed up, and basically she throws him out and he goes back to jail.
Yeah.
Now, now this is where we set up another murder about to happen, I believe. Because he says he's got information on Darby's lawyer.
Yes.
That basically Jamie Foxx has to give him a nice meal from a very specific restaurant.
With pommes frites.
Pommes frites. Fuck you, pommes frites. That's one of my favorite lines. So here's another question. Why don't they just take the food from the waiter? Why does that poor waiter have to go into the jail with that food?
I don't know.
I was like, that guy doesn't get paid enough to do this.
Yeah.
And they open the cell. Like, Gerard Butler's not wearing... Well, he's handcuffed to the thing, I guess. But Gerard Butler's in the cell. The waiter's right there. Like...
Oh, before we
better have got some hazard pay.
We ran over the part where we get the title spoken in the movie.
Oh, he says... I'm
just a law-abiding citizen.
Damn right he does. I cheered.
I was like, good on you, sir. Good on you.
They had to get it at some point.
I actually put in my notes here that I was rooting for Clyde at this point in the movie.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'm not rooting so much against Jamie Foxx, but I am rooting for Gerard
Well,
Butler.
I will say, as an anti-hero, he's delightful.
Yes. I just wish they. I don't understand. Because Gerard Butler. Okay, Gerard Butler was in a movie where he was playing an Egyptian and he kept his Scottish accent. So I don't know why he couldn't have just kept his accent.
That fucking movie.
Gods of Egypt? Great
Awful.
movie. I agree.
Oh my god.
So, okay.
Stylized fever
You
dream
go-
in that movie.
He gets his food. The
Tells
terrified waiter.
Tells the waiter to tack on a 30% tip.
Yeah. Which I guess that's his hazard pay.
Yeah.
And basically he says, they're late with the food because
the warden had him check it and check it again.
Yeah. The warden
Jamie Foxx's character earlier was like, I'm not giving him the bed because I need to assert my dominance in this relationship or this situation. And the warden is doing exactly the same thing.
Jamie Foxx does alpha male shit.
Yes. And well, the warden does too, because he's like, it's my prison. I say what goes down. Check it again.
Yeah.
And it makes them late.
Yep. And because of that,
well, he gives them the longitude and latitude. They take off,
yeah,
and
he
they
just
find
has
out
that committed to memory.
What's that?
He hasn't committed to memory the longitude and latitude.
You know what? Anything with Gerard Butler in this movie, he's omniscient, hyper intelligent. I just had to accept that and go with that he'd be able to process and maintain the longitude and latitude in his memory for the duration.
Yes. But I will give you that because like you said, this is not the most insane thing in this movie. So
they fly there, they find out, unfortunately, what's his name's lawyer?
Scumbag McLawyer.
Yeah, unfortunately he has died because they were late.
Yeah.
His oxygen was set to run out at 15 after 1. If they had been in Gerard Butler's cell, giving him his food at 1 o'clock, they would have had the 15 minutes to get from the prison by helicopter, because Gerard Butler knew they'd take a helicopter.
He knew it.
To the site and get the lawyer out of the ground, and he would be alive, but he ended up suffocating.
Here's another wrinkle in his plan. What if they had gotten there on time and the lawyer was like, oh yeah, Gerard Butler put me under there. Okay, he's in jail now.
Well, he was already in jail. This just would have been another charge to add to the myriad of charges, because he'd still have to be waiting there for his trial to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, if they had saved him in time, it kind of would have been a failure for Gerard Butler.
No, because they would have still been prosecuting him on the other 2 murders. They wouldn't be like, okay, well, we got him for kidnapping and false imprisonment, and we're going to send him away for 20 or 25 years. We still have to make him accountable for these other two murders, so we still have to go through all the process for that.
I have a note here that says asparagus continuity.
Okay.
I think it's because when he's eating the asparagus, every time it cuts back, it's like the same length. He never actually eats it. He eats it and then it cuts back and it's still the same, and then it cuts back and it's even longer. It's some
always
fantastic.
Crispy though. Always crispy.
Oh my lord! The sound effects.
And
so this is the part where you kind of
I'm not okay with this murder.
Yeah,
they have the stake. Him and his cellmate, who from everything that we've seen, his cellmate, while a rough and tumble looking chap, has not done anything to accost or assault Gerard Butler. He shares his food, his super expensive food, with him, but Gerard Butler keeps the T-bone from the steak, and then knifes stabs, or I was gonna say bones him to death, but that sounds weird.
That's actually what I wrote.
He boned him to death.
He boned him to death.
Stabs him in the neck with the T-bone, and like just buckets of blood are shooting out of his cellmate, and he kills his cellmate straight up in cold blood. It's one of the only murders I'm not okay with, because he was not in any way associated with or attached to the murder of Gerard Butler's wife or kid.
That is correct. The one thing I will say is that he is using this to for another purpose, because he knows it's going to get him into solitary, and that will lead to another reveal later, of course.
Yes.
The thing is about this scene, I'm not even like, okay, I don't know if realistic is the word, but like, this is one of the most effective, like, death scenes I think I've ever seen.
Oh,
like,
was straight up brutal.
Brutal. Like, I thought for a second, no, I didn't think I was, but it felt like I was watching like a real murder.
Yeah. Because
he is just stabbing him in the neck. The guy's not reacting over the top. He's just kind of slinking down.
Yeah.
And like blood's just coming out, shooting out everywhere. Oh my god, it's
just like
brutal.
someone turned a garden hose on or something.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like It's the most brutal death scene I think I've seen
now
in many a year.
I think that they could have fixed this, or at least got people like me all right with this guy getting killed, if they had revealed that he was like, I don't know, like the head of the Aryan Brotherhood, or if he was like a pedophile or something.
Yeah.
Just something to make the guy scummy enough that when Gerard Butler stabbed him in the neck with a T-bone, you're like, no, that's okay, I'm all right with that.
Quite possibly that also may have been cut from the final film, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, like I know what you're saying. You gotta give him something. Like, even if he he's like talks to him in a scene and he's just like, oh yeah, I killed a kid one time or something like that. Or just like he's in there for raping like a woman or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of scumbaggy trait.
No, I have a note here. Wasn't he listening to Bowie?
Was it Bowie? I know they switched to heavy metal at one point. Was it Bowie before that?
I think so.
Oh. Well, so he's dead, and he goes to solitary confinement.
I've got some weird notes here. Shit. Dialed it back. Whiskey? I don't drink whiskey. I'm classy. I drink gin.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
No, I have two notes here. One that's just wow.
Is that just applying to the whole movie?
I guess. The note, wasn't he listening to Bowie? Yeah. Oh, you know what it was? Someone had, Jamie Foxx or somebody had mentioned about his shitty taste in music.
Okay.
Colin Meaney said it. He said he had like shitty taste in music in the iPod because they had taken the iPod apart to search for evidence. I'm like, he was listening to David Bowie. That's like the least shitty music you can get.
Yeah. You listen to this shitty music. He's got like Queen on.
Yeah. And for some reason I have a note that says, diddling justice. I think that was when he was playing with the Lady Justice statue.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the scales?
Yes.
Okay. That was the most ham-fisted thing in the whole movie for me. Because he's balancing the scales of justice. Oh, I wonder what we're talking about, movie. You know what I mean? Like, we're between right and wrong. It's that moral ambiguity. Yeah.
And then we meet the fellow who tells them everything they need to know about what Gerard Butler's done for the last 10 years.
Not before Jamie Foxx is a dick and shoves, like... Well, that was a bad setup. But not before Jamie Foxx acts like a dick and shoves, like, Gerard Butler's bracelet in his face.
Oh, the daddy bracelet, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, go ahead. We meet Deep Throat. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I have my note for that guy. It's like, oh, it's that dude. That dude Bond. I don't know the actor. I just seen him in a ton of stuff.
Okay. I was also like, at first when they said we're gonna go talk to someone, I said like, oh, did we already meet this guy? No. Oh, okay.
Nope, they go talk, and this is the only time we meet him again in the
Yeah,
entire movie.
yeah.
So
Nick Jonas goes to meet with him.
yep, and we find out that Gerard Butler is an absolute mastermind. That he had
Yeah,
perfected
which
the
I get.
ability to kill somebody without even being in the same room as them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a think tank operative, basically. Which
Yeah.
at least they gave him something. Like, didn't just make him a normal dude who went crazy in 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, can we just safely say that this is probably the worst judge ever? Because she's basically like, "Wait, you want me to take away all his his civil rights and benefits? Okay."
Yeah.
And then, holy shit! The
That.
first time I saw this, I jumped
Yes.
because she answers her phone.
Bang!
Yeah, right through the head.
Yep.
Like, I thought at first it was like a bullet, and then I looked and I was like, "Oh shit! No, it's a cell phone bomb that he somehow got into her cell phone."
Yeah.
The judge is 50 Shades of Dead.
She. We watched it, and Patty was watching it with me.
Yeah.
And when that happened, she thought she was gonna jump clear off the couch.
Oh, it's jarring.
Yep, it just
just
comes
like-
right out of nowhere.
Yep, like an RKO.
It-
Boom!
Boom!
Got it.
Got it in there. Good job.
Oh, it took a while, but we got the reference in.
We did.
Ooh, that was a close one. Okay. When basically Jamie Foxx is getting a
Before
little
you do
peeved.
that, I actually have a note right after the judge. You're welcome, Brendan.
What?
That's my note. You're welcome.
Oh,
To you. Like, you're welcome for this movie. I'm so glad I could give this to you.
thank you. Well, I feel like it was a good exchange with Killer Clowns last week.
Yeah.
And for this movie, I also thank you because I already had it on Blu-ray, so it was easy to get.
Nice.
Yes. So, this is where basically when he hears about Deep Throat, Jamie Foxx starts to get a little paranoid, as one would,
Mm-hmm.
and basically sends away his wife and daughter. Which, oh, by the way, we barely see them in the movie. Like, they almost are like cameos.
Yeah, they're not. You get the bit at the first where you're like, how could he make the deal, not having a wife and a daughter on the way? Then when she has her recital, and then when she has a psychotic breakdown because she, couldn't handle her torture porn. What a baby!
Sees that.
Boo-hoo! I can't handle stuff. I have to suck my thumb.
They should have hired Nick Cage to investigate that video. Oh man, if he had showed up as his character from 8mm, that would have been amazing.
I'm just trying to understand.
Where's James Gandolfini? So this is the point where Gerard Butler hilariously says, "I'm gonna kill everyone."
At 6:00.
At 6:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, well, shit. So they're in their office
And they watch.
all night.
They watch the clock.
Yep.
Like it's New Year's or
And-
something.
We haven't really mentioned her a lot, but Leslie Bibb, who plays Sarah, I think she's actually a fairly underrated part of this movie. She doesn't do a lot, but she's pretty good.
And she does lend a bit of humanity to the office that they represent.
Yeah, because she kind of says like the whole like, well, maybe we shouldn't just go after the easy conviction rate thing.
Yeah. And she's definitely like, we need to be more, humanistic with the way we treat the people that we prosecute.
Yeah,
Because she doesn't want to go to the death sentence. She has like a tenuous personal life because she's on again, off again with a boyfriend. So she's kind of got her feet in both worlds. Like, she doesn't want to be full on career gal where she's just focused on being a lawyer, but she also wants to be good at her job.
Yeah, she's actually like a fairly complex character for like a side, like a small supporting role.
Yeah.
I almost thought, I wonder if there was a draft of this script where she and Jamie Foxx had some kind of affair. Because I almost felt it was kind of building to that a little
There
bit.
was a little bit of tension, and you could definitely see that sort of thing happening.
I'm glad they didn't, but
Yeah, it would have cheapened it,
yeah,
but it would have.
it would almost it would be,
It's
yeah.
the thing. It would have cheapened it, but it would have again. It would have made her, unfortunately, dying in the movie, to be not, I guess, warranted, but it would have been like, it's the old horror trope. It's like if you're not pristine, you're not going to make it through the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where you finally, I think, well, for me anyway, I finally start to feel more sympathy the other way because Gerard Butler, like I said, promised to kill everyone.
Yeah,
And
and he
he's
said, well, I'm going to kill everyone at 6 in the morning.
and he's
So they
rigged.
all hunker down in their office until 6 in the morning and then decide to
Yep.
go out into the wide world.
In their cars.
Yes. And this is where he crosses over from being an anti-hero to a full-on villain.
Yes, because he's rigged them up like dominoes.
Yeah.
And I gotta say too, as good as she is, Leslie Bibb, you had plenty of time to get out of that van. She's sitting there for a solid 30 seconds.
Unless he rigged the lock so that once they got in, the doors locked and you couldn't open them.
That I thought of too, but you don't really see her struggle. You just kind of see her sit there and look scared and then blow up.
Yeah.
Basically, the only ones that survive this are Nick Jonas.
Yes.
I love calling them that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is also, it's like, holy shit, he rigged these cars to blow up at like a timed intervals. Oh my god, I can't stress this enough, guys. You need to watch this movie. Even though we're spoiling the whole thing, like, you should have paused at the beginning and just watched it and then come back.
Yes.
So, okay, we get I think this is where, like, we get a thing with Jamie Foxx and Cole Meany go to the jail and pretty much beat the shit out of Gerard Butler for a
Yes.
bit.
Colomini is living up to his family name. He is such a meanie here.
Yes.
And I'm also pretty sure that's a no as far as prison goes. That they just let people take prisoners randomly outside the gate to tune them up.
Are you sure? Like, I think it's okay to do once in a while. Like, holding them at gunpoint, like, that's a no-no?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe martial law had come into effect or something. But yeah, they beat the shit out of him, and he basically says, like, blah blah blah, this is gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep killing everyone. You haven't learned your lesson yet, Nick.
It's going to be biblical.
Oh, that's right.
Or
It's
at least, a Greek myth. See, because
Yes.
he was King Leonidas.
And Egyptian.
And Egyptian, yes.
Oh my god, Gerard Butler, we need to do more Gerard Butler movies, that's for sure.
Oh, I absolutely get on board with that.
And this is totally off topic, but I just want to throw this in. We haven't done a Nick Cage movie yet.
That is odd.
That we are 21 episodes deep.
Yeah.
We have not done Nick Cage yet. That is strange. Anyway, so yeah, this is where I wrote down, I think Gerard Butler is God. I think that's the twist. Viola Davis finally shows up.
Yes.
And she is, well, not the actor, but the character. She is awful. She's like, this is all your fault. I don't care if this guy's a think tank genius. How can he be outsmarting you? This is my city.
This is how you get away with murder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
There you go.
Yep. Suicide Squad.
Oh my god, that movie.
That movie is far worse.
I have still yet to watch the extended cut, the one that apparently makes a little more sense.
I find that hard to believe.
Mm.
What is it? The character introductions are 72 minutes long instead.
I don't know.
So anyway, we're rounding the bend here because we get one of the last few genius Gerard Butler attack scenes because he
Uses Johnny Five, his maximum overdrive cousin, to just destroy people with this artillery mounted robot.
yeah, they're at the funeral for the
Everybody.
everybody. Well, see, here's the thing. I thought it was everybody, and it might be, but I thought at first they were just at the funeral for Leslie Bibb's character, and I was like, what about everyone else that died? I didn't know them that
names.
well. Fuck them. Yeah, they were extras in this police station.
I actually have a way to describe this, what happens afterwards. This is bazonkers. It's a mixture of bazooka and bonkers, because this is bonkers.
Yes. Also, how did no one notice that like fairly big robot rolling around
Just
with a
trucking through with a giant grenade launcher on it and a 50 cal machine gun.
I want to see the scene of Gerard Butler or whoever, we don't know who it is. I might have just spoiled it. Rolling, like operating that robot all the way from where it started to the funeral.
Yeah.
Just like going through the streets, like cars are stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no one notices. It's driving like alongside all the cars, and then whoever manages to make all the like one of the cars stop. Like he stops like the controls or something.
Yep.
Like he shuts down the, I don't know what he does, but he stops it. And that's the end of Jonas.
Yeah. With the
Jonas,
bazooka.
Jonas dead, baby. Jonas dead.
Mm.
Yeah, a bazooka. He gets bazooka to death.
I don't know. It's a pretty noble end.
You know what I got to say here?
What were they
Bring me a
thinking?
Bible. Bring me a Bible.
He has a Bible caddy. That's what yeah, she has a Bible caddy. Just give me a Bible and some dude shows up. You know, would you like King James Version or New World? Or I got the newest modern English translation. You can use that.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing somebody with like a bag full of Bibles that they carry around to swear people in with. Here you go. Got one.
It's like
got you covered.
it's like that. It's like that. There's a sketch with like an old sketch with Will Ferrell where it's like a shirtless Bible salesman. I just pictured him coming over me like, here you go. But yeah, Viola Davis again is she's the mayor, I guess, right? But crazy because she's like, okay, Jamie Foxx, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. You're the DA now.
Yeah.
Bring me a Bible.
And then she's talking about giving meter maids shotguns and stuff.
Oh, she is insane. I think she's just her Amanda Knox character. I think it's the same person.
She got a promotion.
Yeah. All right. So we get to the twist. Because Chester, who we never see, by the way, is Leslie Bibb's off-screen boyfriend.
Yes.
On again, off again. Mm-hmm. He gets some information about some properties that Gerard Butler owns across the country, I guess.
Yes. Or at the very least in the tri-state area. Yes.
And Jamie Foxx takes along his buddy. How the hell do you say his name?
Colin.
So it's like,
okay. Think of Colin Farrell,
okay,
right? But just instead of pronouncing it with an N, pronounce it with an M.
Gotcha. There was no I, so I wasn't sure. I just been calling him Colm.
Column, yeah, like a,
okay.
Yeah, it sounds like, like a building column or something like that.
Well, building column and Jamie Foxx go to this warehouse that Gerard Butler owns.
Yeah.
Because that's the only one I believe in the area.
Well, it was the one that was closest.
Yeah.
To the prison.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what do they discover? Tunnels.
Here's the thing with this. They, they're going to this place, and they're going about it like they're covert, and they got to do it. They can't tell anybody. You're the DA. Get a warrant. Like, he doesn't want anybody to know that he's doing this or the stuff that he finds. It's like, he's killed a judge.
Yeah,
and
that's like
several of your colleagues. I'm sure you could find a judge sympathetic enough to sign off on a warrant to search a person of interest's property.
Yeah, you just basically proved it. Like, right there. Like, Jamie Foxx had just found everything he needed to find.
Yeah.
Because so the tunnels all lead up to all the solitary confinement cells,
Yeah.
which I'm guessing he did. So this is crazy. So in those 10 years where Jamie Foxx's daughter went from 0 to 10,
9.
he has managed to, or sorry, 0 to 9.
Right.
My bad. Oh wait, no, they say she's 10. Okay,
They say
so
she's
0
10,
to 10.
she's 9.
0
Get
to
it
10.
together, Brendan.
I'm sorry. This movie is okay. So in those 10 years. That means
the only plot point that I care about is the only part of the movie that doesn't make any sense.
Gerard
She's
Butler.
9. She's 9.
Fuck this movie. What were they thinking? So Gerard Butler dug tunnels to every solitary confinement cell in the prison.
Yep.
Because he knew he was going to end up in prison. Because he knew he was going to get caught.
Well, he went out of his way to do it.
Yeah, but he wanted to wait till Ames was killed.
Set the whole thing in motion.
Okay. Well, how did?
Because remember, he took
if
the just a second. He had scratched on the back of one of the bottles. You can't fight fate.
Which is what that asshole says to him in the first scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mouch from Chicago Fire.
Yeah. Darby.
Yes.
So, but what if, like, he went to another prison?
Well, it's kind of like,
To a different jail.
No, he wouldn't be because...
Could that not have happened?
No, because he was being held awaiting trial. It's kind of like in New York, when you're being held in jail, you would go to Rikers Island. Because that's the jail. It's not a prison, it's the jail. And that's where you're held while you're awaiting trial.
It's still crazy, though. Like,
it is crazy, but
he had to find where all these...
He knew exactly where he was going. Like, he knew where he would be held if he committed a crime.
This is where I was like, I am no longer on board with you, Gerard Butler. Because Jamie Foxx finds his, like, disguise hut.
Yes.
And where he keeps all his bombs. And he has more outfits, like costumes, makeup, wigs, than, like, Lorne Michaels', like, wardrobe designer office.
Nomos the Janitor. Another character by Gerard Butler.
Oh, so yeah. He finds everything. And this is where basically he finds out Gerard Butler is going to attempt to basically kill the mayor, blow up City Hall.
Yes.
Or blow up at least the room that she's in. And yes, he becomes a janitor.
But we've talked about how he has cameras absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
He doesn't put a camera where he puts the bomb.
Nope.
Dumb.
And that's, you know what? That's his hubris.
I guess.
That is where he crosses the line into villain becomes...
You would think of someone who's so meticulously planned everything that he wouldn't leave absolutely anything to chance.
You would think that, but Gerard Butler made a fatal error.
Mm-hmm. He tangled with Jamie Foxx.
You don't fuck with Fox. So he becomes a janitor. He goes past the metal detector. They kind of give him a sideways look, but they let him through. And he sets up this bomb that Jamie Foxx and Colum
Meaney
immediately find. And this is where we get pretty much to the big moment, to the big climax of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, this part is also crazy.
And
because, yeah, go ahead.
Jamie Foxx becomes a murderer too.
Yes, and also he is taking a real risk here because he's basically filibustering until Colomini gets the bomb over to where Gerard Butler's solitary confinement cell. We should note. Oh, I don't know if I made this clear. Gerard Butler was doing everything himself.
Yes, there's no accomplice. There's no like theater of terror where he has an assistant who is like a family member who has been helping him the whole time. He's been sneaking in and out of prison to enact his devious plans.
Yeah, no one's noticed either.
No.
They don't really go over and like look at the cameras for the solitary confinement cells. They don't ever check on them, so it's fine.
It's a pretty old prison. I don't know if they have cameras in there. And if they did, Gerard Butler is a technical mechanical genius. He probably would have just put the whole thing on a loop like Speed.
That's true. Yeah. So Jamie Foxx, yes, he becomes a murderer, and yeah, like he doesn't know how long Colomini's going to take to get there. So he just basically filibusters. Now, like, he took a real risk because, like, what if Colomini hadn't made it there in time?
Yeah.
Like,
it would have been a disaster if Gerard Butler had been shut up.
Yeah. You know, you don't have to do. I already did it. Oh shit.
You what?
So basically, Gerard Butler indirectly ends up murdering himself because he detonates the bomb. Mm-hmm. Even though Jamie Foxx, I mean, to his slight credit, he does try to save him. Yes. But Gerard Butler doesn't know why, so it's kind of under a false pretense.
True.
But he tells him not to do it. Don't do it. Think about your daughter. What would she have wanted? Blah, 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 blah. He does it anyway. And basically, there's this cool looking shot where the flames are like surrounding Gerard Butler as he dies.
Yep.
Big explosion. I got big explosion, and my question is, how many other prisoners died?
Yeah, and Jamie Foxx just walks away, doesn't look back.
Yeah. So and also,
finally go to a recital.
Was there no one else ever in solitary confinement while he was there?
I don't know.
Because
cover that.
Wouldn't they have seen the tunnel? Like,
no,
what
because
were
remember, it was
thinking?
Behind the tunnel would have been behind. It's behind something. Remember, they have to open it like a hatch.
Yeah.
So anybody who else was in solitary confinement would not have known about it. That's
true. Yeah, I guess. And also, as Gerard Butler would say, they were all probably a bunch of dumbasses anyway.
Dumbass. That's what branches are for, dumbass.
Did Jamie Foxx go to that recital on the same night?
That would have been chilling.
Was that what happened? Because
I don't
sure
think so,
looked like it.
But it would have been.
Oh, well, I killed him. Oh, I have time to make it to my daughter's recital.
Yeah.
Which I thought the daughter and the mother were still out of town.
Well, that proves then that it wasn't on the same night then. You've just proved your
movie.
Your question. I'm glad we could help you sort that one out, Brendan.
Oh, you have so many answers to my questions. I appreciate it.
Well, the least I could do, you knew all the actors' names.
That's true. That's weird that I did that. I knew that. I didn't even write anything down.
The insular supporting characters.
I don't know how I remembered Leslie Bibb.
It's a pretty funny name when you think about it.
It is kind of funny. She is in a lot of movies, but like nothing where she's like, oh, it's Leslie Bibb. Do you know what I mean? She's just kind of there all the time.
Yeah, she's one of those character actors. She's like that guy. Bond. Do 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 do. Who we never saw again.
This is where I will say to not take our word for it. Don't take our word for it. But maybe you should, because this movie doesn't have very good reviews.
Well, I mean, isn't that the idea? Like, I mean, I don't understand why. I really don't. Because...
Well, I do and I don't. Because I feel like if you take it at face value, it's insane.
Yes.
If
you try to delve into it and peel back the layers, it's insane.
As we have done, yes. You posted something earlier in the week about canon films, and that I thought of that too, especially watching like American Ninja and how crazy that movie was.
Hmm.
But you kind of accept it because of the way it's set up, which Law Abiding Citizen is like Canon Films with like a huge budget.
Yeah.
Did it do well?
Well, let me take a peek.
All right, will you take
I
a
will
peek?
mojo that you or wiki it for you.
I know the director F. Gary Gray also did Fast and the like at least some of the Fast and Furious movies. I think he did the last one, the most
Yes.
recent one, which that's a good one too. You got
Yes. Budget 53 million.
uh,
Box office 126.7 million.
that's I'm assuming that's worldwide.
Well, it just says box office here on the
It
wiki.
it might actually that might be U.S. That's pretty good. I'd say it was a hit.
That's absolutely it. It made double its budget back.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you count marketing in there, I think it still made quite a bit of profit.
Yeah.
So
I'm all for that, yeah.
the one thing I gotta say here, as we say, don't take our word for it. The funniest thing I read wasn't even on Rotten Tomatoes. There is an official law-abiding citizen fan site,
Wow.
and their thesis statement, I guess, on the front page it says this: if you ignore the unoriginal plot and the massive pile of negative reviews, it's pretty good.
Here, but check this out. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
And this is one of those movies that is absolutely has the critics and John Q. public divided because it only got 25% from the critic scores, but it's like 75% for audience score.
Yeah, and even if you check like the Internet Movie Database, it has a 7.4 out of 10.
So, yeah.
So audiences enjoyed it, critics not so much, which doesn't surprise me.
Sadly, there's nothing here but bloody offcuts from Death Wish, Saw, and The Silence of the Lambs. In roughly that order. You left one, you left out The Punisher.
Yep.
Two, that is a shopping list for a great time in a movie.
Yeah, I don't know why that's a negative review.
Yeah.
This one says from comingsoon.net, law-abiding citizen may be the most nihilistic movie I've ever seen.
Okay, sign me up.
Yeah, that's also a negative review. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. If there's gonna be some sort of redemption? No. His wife
No.
and kid were murdered.
Um, Simon Foster writes, one of the more repugnant examples of Hollywood's cheap thrill approach to violence, its voyeuristic brutality is matched only by its innate stupidity. I believe after that it should say 5 stars.
There is one good critic review here from film.com.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's out of place for October, but there's no reason you can't enjoy a mindless piece of candy against the backdrop of fall foliage.
Why is it out of place for October?
I don't know.
That is a strange thing to say. I maybe if it was in December, but like that's like saying all October movies have to be about the fall foliage. Like what? What? I want all my summer movies to take place during the summer. I want all my winter movies to take place during the winter. And if you open a non Halloween movie in October, God help you. Like what?
QuickFlix noted it's exactly the kind of film the phrase by the numbers was invented for. But, like the best genre films, it acknowledges its niche and goes all out to top its predecessors. That's a positive review.
Yeah, QuickFlix gets it.
They absolutely do.
Here's a surprise. Do you know what top critic gave this a positive review? He gave this a 3 out of 4. That would be a Mr. Roger Ebert, the late Roger Ebert.
Oh.
He said, this is his quote, "The explanation of Clyde's methods is preposterous," agreed, "but it comes late enough that F. Gary Gray, the director, is first able to generate considerable suspense and a sense of dread."
Yeah.
So, I mean, he said, basically, Roger Ebert says, it's crazy, but
really
it's well...
kind of crazy.
Yeah, like, it's still technically well made. That's Roger Ebert, very sad when he passed. He was one of those critics that like he didn't necessarily give negative reviews to like stupid movies, like over
Yeah.
the top stupid. He gave Anaconda a 3.5 out of 4.
Because it's delightful and enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean it's dog shit crazy, but it is enjoyable. But yeah, that was Law Abiding Citizen, and yes, thank you. I will take that. You're welcome, and say thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't take our word for it. There are people who do get behind this movie, and it's fantastic.
It's the audience.
Yeah.
The audience. You, the audience.
And you know what? That's really all that matters at the end of the box office, right?
Well, yeah.
If it made double its budget back, it's technically a hit. So.
Well, speaking of not being a hit, I do have to tease what's coming up soon.
Well, before we do that.
Oh, yes,
Before
you
we
do
do
have
that.
to talk about a certain Simeon.
Well, actually, I've brought him along here. If you just give me a second. Yes,
excellent.
So you want to?
I've heard he doesn't like you, so.
Well, I'm not a fan of being in the same room as him, but I will.
Yeah.
So, hello! It's your good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I'd just like to stop by here of the What Were They Thinking podcast. That's what you do here. It's podcasting, yes?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to stop by and say thank you to everyone who's come by my site, or not rather my Facebook page, and also my YouTube channel, and subscribed and liked, and become friends with Montrose on Facebook. If you haven't, shame on you.
Shame.
But get out there and look me up, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends on Facebook. Be friends with your friend Montrose, and also check out my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV, on YouTube. Actually, there will be several videos in the coming weeks, not to mention the ones from this past weekend with the wrestling of the WWE Backlash. So, thank you, Brendan, for, again, having me here to promote my show. Nathan, you are a bag of dog crap. Thank you. More later.
Wow. Montrose, before you go, can I just
yes?
ask you one quick thing? Can I get your prediction on something?
Please do.
Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal.
No, I don't want to hint at gender at all. I want him to go all the way.
Thank you. I completely agree.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you, and best of luck with casting your pods.
And maybe you should make fun of Nathan one more time before you go.
You smell. You smell terrible, awful, like the underside of a Welshman.
Oh, wow. Cutting right to the bone.
You know what? I'm nice to him. I'm nothing but nice to him, and yet he just always taking the piss out of me.
The check is in the mail.
As long as the checks keep clearing, I'll keep promoting him because I'm a worthless shill like that. But
okay, so how much did you say this budget was for this movie again? 50-something million?
53, I believe.
Okay, so I'm going to say that this next movie that we're going to be doing is probably about $53 budget. Folks...
Is that the clue?
No. Well, I guess it's a double clue, but I just wanted to set it up like that. Folks, we've seen The Room. Well, not on this podcast, but you've all seen The Room, I'm hoping. I'm sure some of you have seen Birdemic. This is quite possibly worse / better than those movies. This is something I found while browsing the interwebs, looking for terrible movies. I had so many other ones lined up instead, but as soon as I found this, I just broke down and I could not not do it.
Now this legitimately made it into theaters, right?
This played at least in a theater at some point.
Okay,
this had a release. It was on DVD.
Okay,
so
that's not important. The important thing is, did it make it into a theater? Because if it did, then we can do it.
It made it into. It did premiere at a theater.
Yeah.
All right. And it's an official movie. Yes, you will find out. Nobody will know what this is when I tell everyone, but you will need to watch this. It is on YouTube for free, I will say as well. So that's always a good sign. I don't know all that stuff I just said.
So, rambling stuff about a crappy movie that made it into a theater that looks like it was made cheaply.
Like a clue is almost like a good clue is almost unnecessary because, like I said, I don't think hardly anyone has heard of this movie. I didn't hear about it until like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I guess like I don't want to.
Well, do you have any other questions about this movie?
I do, but okay. All right. I gotta ask you then.
Okay.
Okay. In a movie where Gerard Butler is essentially Jesus.
Okay. Well, omniscient at least.
Omniscient.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to affiliate any religious figure to him, I guess. In a movie where gore is in a movie with one of the most brutal death scenes in history. In a film where assumptions are made in almost every scene, where almost to the point where the movie should just be called Assumption.
Okay.
In a movie where two characters together form the duo Nick Jonas.
Right.
And finally, in a film where, you know what? This movie's awesome. But I still gotta ask you.
What's that?
What were they thinking?